What is going on? My name is Pokemon. Welcome back to the channel and yet another video. Today we are going to be doing something a little different. I'm going to be ranking every single gym leader in Pokemon based off of how hard they are with Hardcore Nuzlocke rules. Now, what does that mean, you may ask? So what we're going to be taking into account is essentially things like the level that you fight them at. Do you have evolutions at that point? The gym leader's Pokemon, the gym leader's typing, how hard they are, all sorts of things. It all builds up to give us essentially 5 categories of Run Ender being the hardest of the lot, Demon difficulty, which is pretty hard, Solid, which is just a bog standard gym leader. You probably need to prepare a little bit. You can't just run in with, let's say, a Gyarados against a Raichu. Easy means you shouldn't have any trouble just walking in, and free means you can click the A button 3 or 4 times. But with that, let's get into it. So, as I said, they're going to be based off of Hardcore Nuzlocke rules, meaning no items, no over leveling, and set mode always on. Alright, so Ilima is a Run Ender, hands down, especially in Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, because you have next to no Pokemon at this point, and I think it's the Smeagol, actually has a super effective move against you. Makes it pretty hard, considering at the same time in Alola, trainers do have EVs from the get-go, and it's actually kind of terrifying. Lana. I don't think you fight her. Oh no, you do, like, very late on, but I don't really remember that too much. The Wishy-Washy's not too bad, but the Araquanid trial is pretty tough. I think Demon's a pretty good level for her. I know the Araquanid trial did give me a little bit of grief when I was running up Gen 7 in my full series Nuzlocke, which you should check out. Videos linked in the description. Kiawe was always pretty free. I'm trying to think, because it was a little while ago that I did it. I think it was Mudbray made the whole trial free. Gyarados could also manage it, but otherwise, yeah. Molo, the Lurantis trial. So, here's the thing. In my full series, I went out of my way to dupe everything so I could actually get guaranteed Salamences on Route 3. So she was never too bad to me, but I can see exactly how she could kill you. You know, Sun-boosted Solar Blades, Trumbeak's cast forms, they're not easy to beat. You know, you're not going to beat a Trumbeak easily if you've got something to beat the Lurantis out. And I think the Lurantis is also the first trial with an Omni Boost, if I'm not mistaken. Try to Pokemon Lurantis, it'll call Trumbeak on turn 1. +2 speed, okay, that's actually really scary. That's worse than an Omni Boost almost. Just because it means you're guaranteed to go second, essentially, unless you got, like, Crobat with max speed. And even then, you're not killing it, because Lurantis is a pretty bulky mon, so yeah, I think Run Ender is definitely suitable for Molo. Sophie, I think he's probably easy. I don't remember having much trouble with, like, the Togedemaru trial. The Vikavolt trial was probably more like a solid, just because Vikavolt has Levitate, making it that bit harder. And of course the 143 special attack at level like 30 can also make that pretty hard. But I'm pretty sure things like Eviolite and Nosepass can handle it really well. Acerola is, I think it's solid, to be honest. The Mimikyu trial can be pretty tough if you're not prepared. On my runs, I used Skarmory to really do a lot with it, which made it a lot easier for me. But then you might not get Skarmory. You know, it's not guaranteed out of the trees. I think it's 50-50 between that and Fearow. And let's be honest, Fearow's not going to do much against this. Mina. There's two different trials here. The Rabombi, if you're going to do the Rabombi trial, I think in Uzum. Once you've got the 5 petals. The Rabombi is double Omni boosted and can call Blissey's to heal it. That's tough. At the same time, you have to fight 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? I think? No, 4. You have to fight 4 other trainers before you even get the pink petal, which looks deviously like something else. So I think she's actually a pretty tough trial, because you've got to do these 5 different fights without losing mons, and you're level capped for all of these. It's pretty damn tough. Hala's free. I've never struggled with him, and you probably wouldn't either. Let's be real. You get stuff like Zubat, and you're probably golden. Alright, Nanu though. Nanu, I'm going to put in easy. He's not free by any means. I remember being able to just sweep him with like Ribombee. Then obviously if you don't get that, you've probably got other stuff. As I said, one of those things you could probably walk up with 3 Mons and win. Hapu, I think also is easy. It's not hard. The awkward part with Hapu is that the Komodo trial that follows is actually at a lower level cap than her. I'm pretty sure her cap is 58 and the Komodo is 54, if not, I'll correct it. Roxanne's easy. She's not free by any means. The nose pass can be a bit tough to get through if you don't have a water or grass type. Look, there's many ways and means of getting through it though. I think the reason I wiped to her in Auraz, I think it was Alpha Sapphire, I just had nothing to counter her at all. You know, obviously that's with extra restrictions like the full series would have, but I just had nothing for it. Brawly's pretty easy, let's be real. Even if you've got like a Tailo, you're probably fine, but like Beautifly can beat it as well. There's just many Mons that beat this fight. Watson is solid. Is he solid or is he demon? I think he's demon, because you don't have many counters for him, especially in Emerald, unless you go with Marshtomp. You really don't get a ground type apart from Geodude, who is far from guaranteed. Makuita's not going to do enough damage. Although, do you get Hariyama for Watson? Yeah, okay, you get Hariyama, which makes the Magneton a bit easier. And I guess the Manectric also isn't exactly terrifying. Although in Ruby and Sapphire, this fight could be pretty hard without either of those, because the cap's actually 23, so you don't have Hariyama yet, which could be really tough. So I think he's solid, is a pretty good tier for him. Flannery, as hot as she is, she's pretty free. She's not bad. The only scary thing really is Sunboosted Overheats, which can make it pretty tough if you don't have something for it, but otherwise you've probably got something at that point in the game. Norman's free. No, I'm kidding. He's solid. I can't put him in free as much as I want to after, well, all bar one of my attempts in my full series, which embarrassingly lost a Martrick to him. You can play around the Truon as soon as you realize what you can do with Protect. It makes the Slaking so much easier. He's just not a very hard fight. Winona though? She's definitely demon. Is she a top tier? I don't know. She has Dragon Dance Altaria with Earthquake to counter your electrics and your rocks, which could be pretty tough against like Flying Gym obviously, and you don't have ice types at that point. I think she's a run and actually, yeah. That's pretty, yeah, she's pretty tough. 8 and Liza. I think they're demon. Double battles are very tough to prep for in general. And at the same time, I mean, here's the thing, right? With, say, let's use Emerald as an example, where they only have a Lunatone and Solrock. Okay, so that's Ruby Sapphire. In Ruby Sapphire, you can take 2 water types in and just double surf and you probably win. Their Emerald team is pretty tough, actually. They have, obviously, dual citruses on the, obviously, Lunatone and Solrock. Is there really anything that scary, though? I guess Solar Beam from Solrock on, like, a water type could hurt you. I mean, I guess that's a way to punish you if you bring, like, Swampert out against it. Yeah, I think they're demon. Wallace, on the other hand, is pretty solid. I can't get him any higher than that. Just because, like, even if he sets up Rain, what's his threats? Oh. Oh, no. This is horrible. This is a horrible team. The only thing that can be scary at all is, like, Whiscash and Milotic on a 5 Pokemon team. Because if you play your cards right, you're over-leveled on the Seeking, so it can't kill you with Horn Drill. Celio's not going to do shit to you, and it's also just going to sit there and be a goat. Love Disc is Love Disc. I mean, the Milotic is pretty interesting with Ice Beam, but it also has Twister, so... I mean, make of it what you will, I think Wallace is just solid. What's Juan? He has the Kingdra, and he can set up Rain a lot earlier in the fight. It also has the female Love Disc, which is actually pretty cracked. I don't know if Wallace did, but I don't care. Nah, Juan has some decent mons. The Crawdaunt, I guess, could be scary. I'm not sure what Crawdaunt's actual spread is. Hold on. Let me check quickly. Crawdaunt... Okay, so it's 120, 120, 90. I don't think it's as bad as I thought, because it also has double water move. Yeah, I think Juan's just solid as well. I mean, if he gets up rain, that Kingdra's pretty terrifying, so I think it's Demon. Falkner's not free. The level 9 level cap is pretty tough. The trainer at the front of his gym is also infamous in the full series, Nuzlocke, for actually ending some runs, especially in Generation 2. Rather than Gen 4 in Heart Gold Soul Silver, his Gen 2 fight is actually scarier. Just because Mud Slap is physical, it does less damage, so it actually lowers your accuracy more over time. And especially in the full series, because you're only taking 2 Pokemon, you really need something that hits him all the time, which is why, at least in that regard, we actually prefer to go with Totodile, because it has Rage, which always hits. Bugsy is free. You have a rock type. There's no questions about it. You either have Onix or you have Geodude. If you manage to dodge Onix and Geodude in Dark Cave, Violet City Trade, and Union Cave, good job. Whitney, contrary to popular demand, is not a demon. As I just said about Bugsy, you probably have a rock type, you have muscles, the Marchop, you know, you've got your counters. That Miltank is not as scary as you think. Why is Olivia here? She's pretty chill. The only scary thing on her team is the Lycanroc with Continental Crush, turn 1, but you can actually, like, play your cards around that. Morty has wiped me in Gauntlet Gold. I don't know, did he wipe me in my actual full series? I don't think so. I guess you can get Hypnosis, Dream Eater spammed. I think that's how I lost in the the Gauntlet Gold race. Otherwise, you have normal types you can bring. Chuck's free. Unless you get slept into Focus Punch, that could be the only scary part, but like, the problem with, I'm going to put these two down here as well, is that you can fight them in any order, and that's a bit of a pain for the linearity of Johto as well. That's something I can complain about another day. Claire, on the other hand, is a run-ender. Contrary to what you might say, 3 Dragonairs, all with a different 95 base power move, is pretty tough. At the same time, her Kingdra is disgusting. Heart Gold Soul Silver Claire is not a fun fight. Dragon Pulse on everything on this fight. The Kingdra is... It's got Sniper, and Hydro Pump, and Hyper Beam, and Dragon Pulse. If you get hit with a crit, you're probably losing a Mon no matter what. I think if you're guaranteed to be able to lose a Mon on any fight, I think it could be at least a Demon. At the same time, if like one of the Dragonairs paralyzes you and you don't have a fast enough Mon to kill it, you can get really hard punished. Luckily the Gyarados ain't exactly threatening in that fight though. Yeah, I think Claire could be a run-ender. Just because like, if she takes out a Mon that's really important for your run, like let's say Alakazam for example, you're probably actually kind of cooked. And you actually have to play really well to get through the Elite Four in those games. Which without like Alakazam being able to punch everything or Gengar being able to punch everything, you're probably looking at losing something in the E4. Viola's free as fuck. Even the Vivillon's pretty easy. Grant is one of those gym leaders that if you know what you're doing is super easy. If you don't know what you're doing, he can mess you up. The reason I say that is because you can get Hawlucha on Route 10. Otherwise, you can also get so many counters at this point in the game. I honestly would say Gym 2 split in Kalos is the longest split in Pokemon, ahead of Scarlet Violet split 1. Karina, she has the Lucario. You don't get your Lucario till after that, do you? Oh, she doesn't have Lucario. Wait, why? I guess because it's guaranteed to Mega Evolve. Yeah, she's pretty easy. Just because you have so many possible counters. That's the problem with Kalos, is that the games are so ridiculously easy. Don't get me wrong, they gave us so many things, but they also gave us a free region, including the worst gym leader, like, ever. Clemmy, though, Clement is actually pretty alright. I think you're at a level, at that point, I think 37 is the cap? 37 or 39, where you have a fully evolved starter. But at the same time, his Pokemon are pretty fast, which means, like, you could take serious damage from stuff like, what, Parabolic Charge? Does his Heliolisk have Paracharge, or? No. I forget that everything has, like, 3 moves, bro. Emolga is also a pretty tough mon to counter, just because of its typing. Sturdy Magneton, unless you're using an electric type, could probably hurt you pretty bad. It's got the 120 special. And then Heliolisk is there with Grass Knot. Valerie is very easy. I think I used Nidoking or like Steelix. I used Thumper in my full series. I don't remember her being any trouble. Olympia was one of those weird fights, right? She had Meowsticks. Sigilyph, Slowking, Meowstic, yeah. And the problem with Meowstic is it's just so disappointing as a mon. But at the same time, feel free to disagree with anything that I say in the comments. I'll be happy to barter with you about it. Warfrek, though, is extremely free. Okay, Brock. I think is solid, to be honest, because if you're not picking Charmander or Squirtle, if you're not picking Bulbasaur or Squirtle, he is straight up a run-ender. That biting Onyx could eviscerate you quicker than you could even say cheese. Especially like in yellow as well. Obviously there's ways around it. We all know this by now. I think the yellow cap is 10 or like 12, and you really don't have the power to just plow through him without like Mankey, Nidoran, Butterfree, one of those. And if you don't get any of those, which is absolutely possible, you could have a lot of trouble with it. Oh yeah, also, not going to be taking any of the Johto teams into account, except for Janine and Blue, obviously. Misty is pretty tough. While it's only 2 mons with Staryu and Starmie, Staryu is nothing, but that's kind of the point of it. Starmie, on the other hand, I'm going to actually put her in Run Ender because my overconfidence has cooked me before on that fight. In Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, her Starmie actually gets Scald, which is crazy for a Pokemon at level 18. Even Bubble Beam in like Gen 1 is pretty tough to deal with. I think in Fire and Leaf Green she has Water Pulse. It's still a really tough mon. It's decently bulky and it's really strong. Surge is free. Oh no, I'll put him in easy. Just because you go to Diglett Cave or you have the Dig TM already, you have the resources to plow through him. You just need to be able to put the 2 and 2 together. Erica is free though. You've got plenty of counters for her. Koga is also free. As long as you have a single Psychic type, he doesn't stand a chance. Sabrina, though, is Demon. I'm not going to put her in Run Ender, even though she has, like, Alakazam, because a single fast normal type generally does the job against her. Lane's free. The Fire types, while Fire is, I think it's the best offensive type in Pokemon, he just doesn't use it very well. Giovanni is easy. Actually, no. I've put Blaine in free, I'm going to put Giovanni in free. I think outside of Yellow, where he has Persian, and Let's Go, where he has Persian, his actual gym fight is really free. Janine is infamous being the easiest gym fight in Pokemon. If you didn't know, in Gen 2, the average Kanto gym leader level, I think, is like 49. Janine's Pokemon, 39. That's just sad. Blue is a Run Ender for certain. There's no way around it. There's a reason this guy was the champion. He has a balanced team of threats like Gyarados with Dragon Dance. I think Exeggutor has Psychic. Gyarados, as I said, Dragon Dance. Anything with a Dragon Dance mod is probably going to be a Run Ender if it can get going. At the same time, he just has a balanced team, which is not something that anyone on this list so far has. Rourke. I need to check something on his Cranidos. Headbutt, Pursuit, Leer. Okay, so the Cranidos doesn't have a stab move. 125 attacks, pretty scary. I'm not going to put him in free, even though, you know, you probably have like Mark Punch, Monferno, or like, I don't know, Bubble, Piplup or something for it. Because a Headbutt flinch into a crit's probably killing you. Gardenia is also just easy. At Roserade, while you can have Golbat to deal with it, or, you know, some other mon, it can be scary as well. It just fits the build. If I put Rourke there, I'm going to put Gardenia there too. Maylene. That Lucario is pretty rough. Especially in BDSP. This is where I'm going to use BDSP because it's the same premise of a game. Unlike these guys in Kanto, in the Johto games, because they are post-game. This Maylene fight, actually, yeah, no, that puts her up in a demon. The Lucario with Bulk Up can be disgusting, and because the gym leaders in those games do use heals, she can bulk up to an extent where she can almost one-shot nearly anything you have. It can be really tough. Crusher Wake, though. I want to put him in solid. I'm a bit Ram-Plat-pilled with him, because I'm used to him having Rain Up. But I think he leads Gyarados, right? Crusher Wake. Yeah, in Platinum, he leads Gyarados. Okay, he leads Gyarados in both games. Quagsire is actually a really good one for this fight because you've probably got an electric type lead on the Gyarados into a electric counter on the Quagsire into a grass counter on the Floatzel with Ice Fang. Yeah, no, that's actually a pretty decent fight. And oh my god. Okay, the Quagsire has a Damp Rock with Rain Dance in BDSP. So 8 turns of Swift Swim boosted Floatzel. That's actually kind of terrifying. Yeah, no, that's going to put him in a demon for me. Even though I didn't have trouble myself personally with him, that's still really tough. Fantina though is a run ender. If you don't have the Mons, she can be horrifying. Mismagius is not afraid to pack you up and take you home. I think Haunter and Duskull as well. Duskull can burn you, it can curse you, Haunter can curse you, it can confuse you. There's just too many threats on this fight to just ignore it. It's a run ender for sure. Byron is free. I think he might be on par with Ramos, low-key. Candace though? Ooh, she's not a run ender. Is she? No. She's Demon. I think Demon probably fits her best. Her Mons in BDSP are really cracked. Her 2 ice types on a 4-mon team. I don't know where I got the idea she had 2 non-ice types. Yeah, I'm looking at this BDSP team. Bro, BDSP teams were so cracked. Expert Belt, Huge Power, Metacham with Bulk Up, what the hell? And then also having Ice and Rocks moves to take out flying types, that's scary as shit. Volkner is, I feel like Volkner's pretty easy. You're never really going to have trouble with him. I think a Hippowdon probably handles 90% of his team. Obviously, it doesn't take out the Octillery in Diamond and Pearl, but it takes out his team in Platinum with ease. Otherwise, you have Garchomp at his level cap. Chili, Silent, and Crest, though. You have a Monkey, you have a starter, you win. Lenora, though, is a certified run-ender. This thing's a monstrous fight. Her level cap is pretty low as well, with it only being 20. It's the minimum level she could have a legal Watchog as well. The Herdier can be a bit of a pain with Intimidate. The Watchog has Retaliate, Hypnosis, Confuse Ray. It is there to fuck with you. And that's all I can say about her because she's tough, man. What can I say? Berg? What's his team? I mean, it's easy because like you can just whack him with a flying move. The Whirlipede, I suppose, probably has Rollout. Whirlipede, Dwebble, Leavanny in black and white 1. Whirlipede actually is not there in black and white 2. Okay. Swaddling, Dwebble, Leavanny. There's not really any way they beat like a flying and a water type. There's no way he goes above easy. Alisa? To me, Alisa's a run ender. You might disagree, as I said, feel free to. You don't have many counters for this. I think the only rock type you have available in black and white 1 is Roggenrola. You can get Onix and Geodude in black and white 2, which makes this fight a bit more trivial. But in black and white 1, she can absolutely pack you up. The Emolgas are really painful to switch around because they have Volt Switch themselves. The Zebstrike is powerful enough that it can take stuff out. It's a pretty scary fight. Clay's also a demon. The Excadrill, if it gets off like a Hone Claws, because it has the speed in the sand, it's Sandrush, right? Black White 1, Sand Force. Okay, so there's no way for him to set up Sand. I wasn't sure if there was. Black and White 2 challenge mode there is, though. That's actually terrifying. Black White 1, everything has Bulldoze. That Excadrill, it hits so hard. It's got the, what, 118 attack? 118? Or is it 133? It's one or the other. 135, damn! Okay. Yeah, no, that thing's horrifying. If it gets off a Hone Claws, you are cooked. Skylar is solid. She's not free. As much as you could probably run up to her with Zebstrika from Route 7, she's actually, like, half alright. I know you can go to Mistral Cave, Relic Passage, all those areas, but it's not so bad. Bryson is free. Drayden, though. Ooh. Does he have Dragon Dance? Opelucid, Gym, Pokemon Black. Okay, yeah, no, he does have Dragon Dance, and with your starter especially, and a lot of Pokemon being 87% male to 12% female, the Fracture and Haxorus could ruin you with Rivalry Boost as well. I mean, it's only Dragon Tail, not Dragon Claw. That's still pretty rough, though. Black 2, White 2, it's Mold Breaker instead, which is actually probably harder to deal with. At the same time, the Drodigan has Sheer Force. Yeah, this is a really tough fight. It would have been based as fuck if on challenge mode they gave his Druddigan a Life Orb, but hey. Iris, I think, is the same as Raiden in Black One, White One, except the Haxorus and Fracture are female. Oh, and they're Mold Breakers. The Haxorus is Mold Breaker. Okay, so that changes our scenery a little. I don't think it's any different. I think it's still really tough. I think that puts her into Demon though. Just because the Haxorus is only Mold Breaker, not Rivalry. I think Rivalry boost on a male makes it that little bit harder because so many Pokemon are 87% male. Sharon is actually a really tough first gym leader. I'm going to put him in Solid. I don't think he's worth putting in Demon just because it's a Lillipup and a... Is it Patrat? Yeah. I mean, plus whatever the hell workup and tackles, it's pretty rough to deal with early on because the level cap is really low too. You're only at like 12, 13 cap, depending on what difficulty mode. I think it's 13, but you're also really limited in how many Pokemon you have at that point too. Because what you have, you'll start at Route 1 or Route 20, Route 21 and Flossy Ranch. That's it. So you'll have 4 Mons, which can be really rough if you're not prepared. Roxy's free. Marlin. Personally, I don't remember having trouble with him, but I'm a sweaty calc gamer, so. The Shell Smash, I think, is almost guaranteed from Karakoka. Wailord, I mean, it's Wailord and Jellison's Jellison. They're not super scary. I think it's just an easy fight looking at this. I think I might have overestimated him. Milo, I think Milo's easy. He's not free as such. He's pretty close to it. So he's probably going to be like our border trainer between easy and free. Just because the Eldegoss can be a little bit annoying with its bulk. 9 times out of 10, you've gone and done 643 raids by then. I nearly called Nessa Alesa then. She's tough. Bad, like goddamn. She's running like mixed Goldeen, which doesn't make any sense. Arakuda is also never clicking Whirlpool in like any situation. But then that Dreadnought without a grass type is probably really tough because, I mean, Razor Shell's hitting pretty damn hard. And of course, Max Geyser sets up rain, doesn't it? So yeah, you'd be getting kind of cooked because, oh wait, yeah, hold on. This is really tough, huh? Okay, so if it gets off a Max Geyser, it sets up the rain and is Swift Swim boosted. Yeah, no, that's Demon. Kabu is solid. I know, he's like the first gym leader you fight that has fully evolved Mons, rather than just one. Pretty sure it's what, Ninetales, Arcanine, Centiskorch. Yeah, he's pretty tough. The only saving grace you have is the fact that you get like a water type in Hulbury probably, with your fishing rod. Bay is also solid. She can be pretty tough as well. She's got like Intim Hitmon? Oh no, triple kick, technician boost on everything on a Hitmon top lead. That can be scary. What's G-Max Key Strike? Raises uses attack and critical hit rate by 1 stage. Okay. Okay, bro. Problem is, it's like a Marchamp. It's not fast. She has a Surf Etch, which I guess could be scary if you don't take it out. Pangoro is also pretty rough if you don't have a Fairy. Yeah, she's solid. I've never fought Alistar. I'm just going to put him alongside B. Opal? Opal's pretty free. She's not, like, super free. You have a Poison type or a Steel type. Then goes for Gordy and Melanie. Piers can be pretty tough, though. The no Dynamax thing in his gym's interesting, because as much as you might think it just disadvantages you, his Obstagoon has max HP and both defenses as well, I think? It's either 252, 252, 252, or like 252, 144, 108, something like that. These two are not gym leaders. I don't know what they're doing here. They're the rivals, aren't they? Ryan's also solid. Actually, I'm going to put Ryan in Demon. He uses Sandstream Gigalith? I think it's Sandstream, right? It was Sandstorm. I hate how every single person ever pronounces this Raihan, by the way. Yeah, Sandstream Gigalith. And then the Duraludon can also mess you up if you don't have anything that takes it out. Like, it's got pretty powerful moves. His E4 fight's actually pretty cool too. He rather than just having sand, he goes to weather, to sun, sorry. The Scarlet Violet gym leaders I'm going to be a bit washy on. I haven't Nuzlocke these games, and I've only fought them all once at the very end of the game because I think I got the Tatsugiri badge was my first badge in Scarlet and Violet with unevolved ones. So I'm going to go off my knowledge of these fights and say I'm just going to throw these all out there real quick. Boom, 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 There's like a move on the Espathra that's disgustingly good. Smash. Anyway, how are we looking? Oh, look at that. You can see the whole list on the screen at once. And my webcam hasn't frozen. We are so back. Anyway, this is the entire list. Let me know if you disagree with anything in the comments. I will probably not care. No, I'm only kidding. I'm not that egotistical. Feel free to discuss it in the comments. But until next time, my name's been Pokemon, like and subscribe, and I'll see you all next time. Peace.